and a 2 and a dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. You know the second verse of that song. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, but soon Miss Fanny Bride was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank. Misfortune seemed his lot. We got into a drifted bank and we got upset. Oh, nobody knows that second verse. And whenever I sing it, everyone's like, you're a freak. And I'm like, okay, maybe. But I have my 5th grade, actually my whole elementary school music teacher, she was every year, Miss Gill. Miss Gill, if you're out there listening, Miss Gill, I love you and I have you to thank for many, many things. And one of them being knowing the second verse of Dashing Through the Snow. Steele, did you know that verse before I sang it?
No, I did not.
Okay, see, yeah, exactly.
Cool story, sis.
Oh, thanks. You're welcome.
Ho, ho, ho! It's a special Christmas edition of The Critics in the Crowd. This week and next, we're covering some potential Yuletide classics of tomorrow. Or, well, maybe not, as they qualify for consideration on this Holly Jolly podcast. Will A Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life, and Elf have to make way for these divisive cinematic presents under the metaphoric tree?
That's where we come in. This is Liz Ramirez, the Christmas cheermeister and co-host of this production powerhouse. I am an actress, producer, and Christmas lover. And that over there is Steele.
Yo, ho, ho.
He's quiet as a mouse today, but not for long. That's because for the first of our 2 holiday sorties, we're venturing into the realm of reindeer. Or rather, we're dashing through the snow. Steele, you were the driving force behind this pick. Or maybe should I say, you were holding the reins on this doomed sleigh.
Yeah, I am always looking to add another entry to my Christmas catalog, and this came, if not highly recommended, at least lightly lauded. I knew going in that it was going to be a little formulaic. Curmudgeon of a father must learn to let Christmas spirit into his jaded heart. But hey, I watch about 6 different versions of A Christmas Carol every year, and I love each and every one. What about you, Liz? Any shots across the bow that lit an open fire under some chestnuts?
Damn, you're really leaning into the Christmas puns. I mean, as a Christmas lover and a lover of puns, I should be enjoying myself. But I mean, I really don't even know what you said. This is like how they talk on the North Pole or something.
Yeah, is that how they talk at the North Pole?
I mean, yeah, the bow and the open fire, the chest. Yes. The stats. The Walt Disney Company released Dashing Through the Snow direct to Disney Plus on November 17th, 2023. While it wasn't a tentpole feature, it was their primary live-action holiday offering in a year that had gone horrifically for the House of Mouse. Ant-Man 3, Indiana Jones 5, The Creator, The Marvels, the remake of The Haunted Mansion, and Wish all bombed. Wish was in 2023?
Yeah.
Jeez. What? Okay. While the live-action remake of The Little Mermaid, Elemental, and A Haunting in Venice had only done mediocre numbers. This was as Disney was hemorrhaging cash trying to woo audiences to Disney+. So there was a lot of hope that this feature could pull off a holiday miracle. A synopsis.
Eddie Garrick is a noble social worker with a heart of coal due to a traumatic holiday experience that prompted his parents' divorce in his childhood. Now an adult, Eddie's own marriage is on the rocks, but after he agrees to take his 9-year-old daughter Charlotte for some Yuletide cheer, they meet a mysterious man in a red suit named Nick, who takes them both on a magical roller coaster ride across Atlanta as they try to escape the wrath of a corrupt congressman who believes Nick has swindled proof of the politician's misgivings.
While there is no critic summary on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe that this blurb from Dylan Duggan does a good job of summing up the feelings of most professionals.
Tim Story's holiday comedy is a movie you've already seen. It's familiar, comfortable, and hard to dislike, but likewise also hard to care about.
Aw, he spoiled the surprise.
That's right. This is a Tim Story film. Fans of The Critics in the Crowd will remember him as the director of 2019's Shaft.
Boo.
Yay!
And Taxi!
Boo.
Yay!
As well as 2004's Fantastic Four and its sequel, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yep.
Writer Scott Rosenberg was a veteran of numerous features, including Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, Con Air, High Fidelity, Gone in 60 Seconds, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji, The Next Level, among much else, along with lots of TV work.
And Venom.
Anyhow, check out our coverage of that film if you want to know more.
High Fidelity and Con Air?
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2. Wait, Gone in 60 Seconds? No, wait, that's Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
The other 2 are, well, I mean, many actors, but John Cusack. Solid creatives. But let's talk about the star-studded cast. Starting off with Christopher Bridges, a.k.a. Ludacris, headlining this feature. Breaking out as a young 20-something in the late 90s, Ludacris is one of the most successful musical artists of all time. He's also a music producer, television producer, film producer, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and of course, an award-winning actor. In other words, this Renaissance man barely has time to breathe. And yet somehow he found time in his busy schedule to attempt a charming family flick in the vein of the Santa Claus and Jingle All the Way.
Are you complimenting the film or insulting it?
I don't know. Okay, wait. Pause. What is your favorite Ludacris song?
I'm actually not a huge Ludacris music fan.
What?
I respect him a lot, and we'll get into this. I have an enormous amount of personal respect for him, but he just doesn't really do it for me.
Heard. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. I'm not. I disagree. But my favorite Ludacris song is from Step Up to the Streets.
Of course, it's from Step Up.
Of course, it is. Literally, I have a whole playlist dedicated to Step Up to the Streets. It is The Potion. That's a really good one. And also, the most iconic for me is When I Was 13, I Had My First Love. Nobody can compare to it, baby. Nobody can put it above. It's not very good, but not me singing. It's not very good. Ludacris, wow.
Next up is Lil Rel Howery as Nicholas Sinterklaas, though you can call him Nick or Santa Claus or Kris Kringle or. Anyway, he's a stand-up comedian who has found success in numerous other acting ventures, most notably in The Carmichael Show, Rel, Luck, Vacation Friends 2, and too many other credits to mention. I particularly liked him in smaller roles in Bird Box and Judas and the Black Messiah.
You know what I liked him in? Get Out.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So good. Other notable actors include Oscar Nunez, Teyonah Parris, Mary Lynn Ricekeb, Vince Pisani, and Marcus Lewis, as well as newcomer Madison Sky Validum as Charlotte, Eddie's young daughter. Not a cast of unknowns.
Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, Dashing Through the Snow only has 30% of critics finding it to be delightful holiday fare. Audiences are much more in the Christmas spirit, with 64% liking this film, a 34-point difference or a star and a half if you go by that scale.
That difference has increased by more than 10 points since its original release, with critics holding firm and audiences growing more passionate for the feature. Disney's bet may not have been a long shot after all.
I have a feeling it's going to jump a bit more this holiday season, not necessarily because it's a great film, but because it's definitely inoffensive, filled with gags for the whole family, and it is not an epic. Though listed at 90 minutes, it's really just 82 minutes of narrative. At worst, you could throw it on in the background as you cook a Christmas goose, ham, or tofurkey.
Turducken all the way.
I love a good turducken.
Initial thoughts.
I remember Disney Plus pushing this film hard in Christmas season of 2023. It's definitely a family feature that leverages Ludacris' star power and Tim Story's skill at showcasing slickness while having a bit of thematic heft. The trailers and word of mouth just didn't woo me, however, and so I hadn't seen a literal frame of this film until I hit up Disney Plus. What about you, Liz?
First of all, watching this movie in September, I'm going to just pull the curtain back on how we do Critics in the Crowd. September, y'all. It felt weird, but I knew it had to be done. I'm just going to pretend it's December 21st and I'm tucked in bed with my festive jammies and I have hot cocoa to my left and Christmas cookies to my right. As far as having ever heard of and or seen this movie, literally never. Not a thing. Not a zip. Not a peep. Not even a flash of an ad. I had no idea. I recognized the actors on the cover when I opened the thing on Disney Plus. I was like, oh my gosh, Ludacris, what are you doing here? Yeah, I had nothing. I mean, Ludacris can do literally whatever he wants. I support it. I know this isn't his first acting foray, but whenever I see him in movies, I'm just like, huh. I am just really indifferent about this movie at this point. This is me having not watched it yet. It's not a movie I'd pick for myself. I like my few Christmas movies, and it's really hard to break into my heart and mind on this. And so judging from the quick glance I took at the score when trying to find where to stream this film, a score as in score like Rotten Tomatoes score, I have a feeling I'm not going to enjoy this. But, here goes nothing.
So walk me through that, because I have a feeling you are a holiday sentimentalist. What are you looking for in a holiday picture? What are your favorites, and what were you hoping from this film?
Christmas means so much to me. Since I was a little girl, I knew something was so special about this time of year. And you know what? I don't know about you, but I held on to Santa being real for as long as I could. And I literally can't wait to celebrate with my own family one day and share my favorite songs and movies and wear cute matching pajamas and, see the look on their faces when they get their gifts. Okay, I can't wait. Now, for what I look for in my Christmas movies, I'm looking for that feeling of warmth and love and otherworldly hope that will make you believe in a better tomorrow. I want films that feel dreamy and that are just downright feel good. I want a film that has something to say, and I want that thing to be handed to me, wrapped in a pretty little bow. My favorite Christmas movies, in no particular order: Four Christmases, The Holiday, The Last Holiday, The Grinch, Jim Carrey's version, duh, and serendipity. Also, can I give a quick shout out to my favorite Thanksgiving movie? And I know Steele's like, what are you talking about, Liz? Like, there are literally no Thanksgiving movies. Why, yes, still, there are. There is. There's one that I know of. Tower Heist. The Ben Affleck, Robin Hood-esque movie. The Tower Heist takes place on Thanksgiving in New York amidst the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And every year since its release, I watch it to get me in that Thanksgiving mood. It's about friendship, kindness, and finding hope when all is lost. It's incredible, and I recommend it to everyone. I was hoping for all of the above. Okay, Steele? I was hoping to be pleasantly surprised. I was hoping for this film to rise above the Hallmark movie-esque schlock. Look, I'm still now saying the word schlock. These movies are thrown at us every single frickin' year, even though they know we will be watching the same 5 to 10 movies on rotation. ABC Family's 25 Days of Christmas, anyone? Let's just say this film left me with coal in my stocking and no partridges in my pear tree.
I didn't hear a single word of that after Tower Heist. Tower Heist?
Tower Heist.
Not Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, see, I've never seen that one. I can have 2 Thanksgiving movies.
Yes, you can, and you need to, because Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a fantastic piece of cinema.
Okay, I will watch that. But you have to watch Tower Heist again for Thanksgiving. Do it.
I will watch it again.
Watch it like on the... So when I watch Tower Heist, it's like the door is open, the gate is closed on the door, but the crisp November 20... you know what? It's the Thursday November air, because it always falls differently on... it's never like the 27th, right? Whatever. Crisp air coming through the door, people cooking in the background, sitting on the couch in your pajamas because you're not ready for all your family to arrive just yet, and you're just watching it. After you've watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, then watch that. I think it's an experience everyone should have at least once.
I'm going to text my friend who's a fan of this show and tell him that your favorite Thanksgiving movie is Tower Heist, and I'm going to read his response verbatim onto this podcast.
Brother! Did he write Tower Heist? Please tell me he did.
No.
Oh, no. I was hoping it was going to be positive.
And here's Jesse's response. Incorrect. The correct answer is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That being said, heist movies are one of the most durable genres for me. Even the bad ones are good.
Jesse, I know you're going to listen to this podcast. Thank you, sir. You have validated me, and I hope you watch Tower Heist this Thanksgiving. Thank you.
As for me, I am a Christmas junkie. I start playing Christmas music the day after Thanksgiving. I watch the classic TV specials and then trot out the staples of the holiday season. A Christmas Story, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, The Grinch in any form. All Tim Burton holiday movies. Batman Returns, Edward Scissorhands, A Nightmare Before Christmas, any halfway decent Christmas Carol film, though especially Scrooged, the Jim Carrey version, and, naturally, Muppet Christmas Carol. I'll even go in for holiday-adjacent films like The Ref, Die Hard, and Bad Santa. So I was desperately hoping that I could add this film to the list. I love Tim's story, I love classic holiday schmaltz, and I knew I was going to get tropes aplenty here. So I went in eager to love this film and overlook any flaws that would drag it down to 30%. Seriously, I love Christmas, and I love Christmas movies.
We open with that most venerable of Christmas tropes, a montage of happy families doing happy things during the happiest time of the year. But not the happiest place in the world. Disney's lawyers saw to that. Instead, we are in Atlanta with grumbling narrations applied by Eddie, who calls December 25th the chicken wing of holidays. A lot of work and overrated.
30 years ago, Eddie asked a mall store Santa for his greatest Christmas wish, that Eddie's parents would stay together. Instead, after seeing Eddie's mom laden with jewelry and gifts, that Santa-looking jerk broke into Eddie's house. It ruined Christmas for Eddie once and for all.
Christmas is like a chicken wing?
I actually kind of dug that analogy. I mean, I don't agree. Christmas for me is more like a whole chicken, but I can understand where this character's coming from.
What kind of analogies? Why are we? It's feeling weird. It's feeling weird to me. I don't know if I like that. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Also, having the Santa rob him, I'm like, am I reading too much into it to think this trope is like the Santa coming and robbing him? There couldn't be any other thing that could make him hate Christmas. It's not. Listen, I feel weird about this. It feels off.
There are lots of tropes in this film, so if we're going to be a stickler for every single one, we're going to be here until the end of time. I actually thought that the whole Santa stealing scene was pretty funny. From the slap fighting to the heartbreak of the kid to the final act of thievery being of St. Nick's cookies, I had genuine chuckles and pouts. I also appreciate that this film's shot in Atlanta and that it actually takes place in Atlanta. Too often, Atlanta is San Francisco or New York or Rio even. Own it. Flash forward to the present. Now an adult, Eddie promises his daughter, Charlotte, that he'll be there for Christmas Eve. Before any holiday cheer, however, Eddie is called into action. He's the city's best crisis counselor, and there's a man climbing a sculpture for reasons that can only be mentally health-related. Eddie climbs up to the man, Luther, and opens with a compliment to the man's beard. Strong start, and then shows his superpower. Eddie's dislike of Christmas allows him to empathize with Luther's loneliness. He gets Luther to climb down with the promise of a real Christmas meal.
Finally finding DMX on the radio, Eddie returns home and watches Luther arrive at a trusted shelter thanks to a newscast and a PR-savvy congressman, Conrad Harf. Harf's schmaltzy words about happy families manage to soften Eddie a bit, however. He's separated from his wife, Allison, who arrives with Charlotte to preempt any chance of Eddie skipping out on his promise to his daughter. Allison is going shopping, and Eddie gets to spend Charlotte's favorite holiday with her.
I know it's a trope, but I always loved the gag about literally every radio station being Christmas fuel.
It's so cute. I think that is funny because it's kind of true. I won't lie.
It's 100%
It's 100% true.
I also really like how the film sets up Eddie's character's strengths, flaws, and how they aren't exactly what we'd expect. He's also smart when he confronts Luther. Always compliment a man's beard. He'll turn to putty in your hands. Should see Liz's face.
My face is in my hand, actually.
The sins of the father are visited upon the son, vis-a-vis hating Christmas. I wonder if Eddie is going to rediscover Christmas magic. Do you think it's going to happen in this movie, Liz?
Oh, man, I think it's going to happen.
I also like how they tied Luther's journey to the shelter to Harf. I knew something was up, A, because his heartfelt words about Christmas did a great thematic tying of Eddie to his past and present, something that Allison directly calls out in case the audience didn't catch it. Ugh. And B, because Harf is played by Oscar Nunez, who played Oscar Martinez in The Office. You don't waste a big name like that in a bit part.
Let's give props to Oscar Nunez where they are deserved, okay? He always elevates and brings such a natural comedy to any project he's in. So I think Oscar Nunez is one of the things that lifted this project for me. I wasn't feeling it too well. We'll get into that. Unfortunately, right now, for me, the acting is falling a bit flat. Very one note, especially from our main guy. And there are some cute little gags, like you said. But at this moment, I'm counting down the seconds until the credits roll. And we just got started. And I just want to add this film to the long list of movies I'd happily never watch again. Also, I want to give props to Teyonah Parris. She is single-handedly creating the chemistry between her and Ludacris, where there is almost none. Cut to Conrad Harf's house. He's going over his plan with 3 of his underlings. They're taking an iPad with names on it to ostensibly raise money for Conrad's political machinations. That is, they're taking bribes. Eddie's on his own nefarious mission, trying to learn from Charlotte if Allison is seeing anybody new. Charlotte teases him and tries to get her father into the spirit. Carolers, a Christmas special, doe eyes. Fine. Eddie helps out his neighbor with their holiday cheer by feeding their cat. They're spending Christmas in Cancun. Eddie seems jealous. Cancun or Orlando, come on.
Eddie arrives at the neighbor's house, unaware that Harf's underlings are staking the place out across the street. Somehow, their boss's iPad was stolen at some point off screen, and they need to get it back. Eddie is oblivious, and for good reason. He's distracted by a grown man hanging upside down in the chimney. You know who this is? I know who this is. Everybody in this world, except Eddie, knows who this is. Santa Claus. Nicholas Sinterklaas. Eddie doesn't toss him out immediately because the man's confused. He has all these weird gadgets that supposedly help him spread holiday cheer across the world, but none of them work. This guy is just like all of the people Eddie helps, so of course, Eddie's determined to help him. And just like that, the film pays off its setup. Any reasonable person would call the cops on Santa, but Eddie thinks that the man's not all there and goes into his whole shtick. Take notes, budding writers, but not too many notes because this film feels very stilted as it lurches from scene to scene. We won't even get to see what happened with the iPad until much later.
Great note, Steele, because yes, I was scratching my head and getting super frustrated because I rewinded, I think, twice because I was like, did I miss something? Did I? No, I didn't. And I was very angry. And yeah, that's all.
This may or may not have happened, but it felt like it could have been placed there, and then in the editing, they moved it to a later point in the film. I don't know, but that's a possibility.
Did it make sense to you, though, in the end? In the end, right, we get it, but, does that placement make sense? Does it matter?
It felt very stilted when we cut to them. I was confused.
Elaborate on stilted.
It felt like we were just, hopping from scene to scene.
Okay, yeah.
And this is what it felt like for most of the rest of the movie, spoiler alert, that we're just going from scene to scene with no real escalation, particularly with Eddie. He's very much the same character throughout.
Absolutely.
I do think that Ludacris is a decent actor. He's been great in many roles, but his art is in his subtlety. He's very good at playing small and then exploding. And Eddie is a very flat character, and I think that the combination of those two makes him feel very underdeveloped and very shallow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they needed something more like King of Christmas to Malin.
I could have seen Eddie Murphy in this and see his kind of manic, and he's got these explosions, and then he pulls back, and he's got a real range.
I think even finding a different Santa and using Lil Rel Howery as the dad, I think that would have been incredible. I think he would have been a great Eddie. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry.
I agree. I chuckled when one of Conrad's goons calls their plan Christmas camouflage, and Conrad gets pissed because he was about to say it. And then I laughed again when Ludacris refuses to call his neighbor's cat Puddin'foot because he's a, quote, grown man, unquote. And again, when Nick says Ludacris looks like he's a man who sells copy machines to people who don't want to buy copy machines. I gotta say, I laughed a few times throughout this film. And then there's a conspicuously placed Atlanta Braves hat behind Charlotte in the Go Fish scene with her dad. We get it. It's Atlanta. Every time I start to feel like I'm vibing with this movie, something stops it short, like the appearance of the goons outside of Eddie's neighbor's place.
No, I maybe laughed like once, but more than once, no. I'm mostly wondering why this movie was needed. I mean, I guess I get it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a Krampus, a Grinch, a Scrooge. After an entirely too long getting to know scene, Mrs. Claus is dieting Santa on carrots instead of cookies. The naughty and nice list is on an iPad, etc., etc. Eddie gets Nick to follow him to his home, where we get a repeat. Getting to know you scene with Charlotte. Nick is spitting facts, though. St. Nicholas was born in the 3rd century in Anatolia, now Turkey, and spoke many languages. Eddie's even further convinced this guy needs to be helped by professionals, and against Charlotte's wishes says that Eddie will drop her off at her mother's and handle this confused man personally.
Meanwhile, the goons think that Nick is the guy who took their iPad and put in a call to Harf. They tail Eddie as he drives Charlotte and Nick. Nick keeps up with the proof that he's Santa Claus by guessing Charlotte's desired gifts. He also farts cinnamon, has a secret Santa pocket, ooh, with reindeer food, double ooh, and knows about Eddie's history with Christmas. It's all just banter, but fear not. The goons come to the film's rescue by trying to drive Eddie off the road. They go on a slow-speed chase. It is Atlanta traffic, after all, and Eddie manages to lose them, only for his engine to go kaput. I can't tell if Nick's banter is hilarious or tryhard. Remember the Uber scene from Shaft, Liz? This seems to be a Tim Story special. How are you vibing with this film right now?
In my notes, I wrote that it feels like a sketch that left the SNL writing room and went on for far too long. I'm not happy. I'm not vibing. I'm not feeling the Christmas spirit. Lil Rel Howery is funny. I think he's really funny. I just think we need more sprinkling and less run-on. You know, it needs more cuts. I just feel like too much stuff, not enough space. You know, remember that? Remember those baggies and airlock, airtight, whatever. And listen, I think you need to just give us just enough to keep us happy and wanting to come back, and not bombard us with these little shticks here and there. Time and place, I suppose, but not right now.
It's interesting because this film is very short, and yet it feels like it's packed, and yet it drags. Like it's a lot going on.
How does that happen, man?
Charlotte and Nick bond over impromptu songs and Christmas magic as Eddie nears his breaking point. Nick gives Eddie some inside information. Eddie's colleague and old friend, Bobby Carlotta, loves trains. Nick gives him a new model train every Christmas. After jumping in a cab and checking with Allison, who is so filled with holiday cheer that she invites Eddie in for some peppermintinis, which I think is code for, well, this is a family podcast. We get a family therapy session.
Is it? Is it a family podcast? Okay.
We get a family therapy session with Nick, Charlotte, and Eddie. It's going well until Nick hops out of the moving vehicle once he realizes he's been made by Harf's goons.
Eddie and Charlotte jump out, leaving Nick's Santa bag behind, as Nick tries to blend into a party. It's not hard. This is a Santa-themed party. Charlotte declares it great, what with the elf-themed backup dancers and everybody in on the Christmas cheer. Nick, meanwhile, tries to outmaneuver Harf's 3 underlings, so rather than hide in the crowd, Nick takes to the stage, singing Run, Run, Rudolph, with the bar band. Soon, Eddie and Charlotte join him to the crowd's delight. They all escape by crowd surfing away into the night. Well, okay, not Eddie. He attempts to crowd surf and crashes to the ground.
Talk about tropes.
That was funny.
That was funny.
It reminds me of Mean Girls. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm beautiful or whatever. Like, whatever. And then okay.
Man, do I hate SantaCon. Have you been to SantaCon or been around
Why would I
SantaCon?
ever go to do that?
I've never done it, but unfortunately, it forces itself upon you. If you're in New York, you know what I'm talking about.
What?
A bunch of drunk frat boys in Santa outfits getting absolutely tanked on the streets, starting fights. Go to YouTube and Google NYC SantaCon, and you'll see.
Where does this happen?
All in the village, downtown Manhattan.
Oh
People are
my
bar hopping.
God.
It's awful. It's
I
awful.
might go to do that now. I've lived here for 2 years. That's 2 Christmases. Almost 3 now.
Hey, look, if you're looking for a drunken former fraternity brother as a boyfriend,
Oh, Jesus, no.
I saw the crowd surfing gag coming from a mile away, and I still laughed. There were a few of these kinds of things throughout the movie, Harf's Christmas Wish being a big one, which we're going to get to. And for the most part, I was okay with it. I knew what I was signing up for with this film.
I didn't really know. I couldn't tell the gag was coming. I couldn't even tell that he was going to go on stage. I was like, what's happening here? And then the big bouncer guy can't take him off the stage. It's like putting the blanket over yourself to hide from the monsters, thinking it's going to protect you, okay? Listen, the fact that you were laughing at all, Steele, is surprising the hell out of me. Actually, in my notes I wrote heel out of me. That's really funny. Why am I being such a hater? I don't know. I was really upset watching this movie.
It's a flat narrative. Nothing is escalated. Like, it's just things just keep happening. And so I like the gags. I think it's funny. There are moments that I like, but they're not strung together with enough purpose, particularly with Eddie. I think Eddie is the big problem. Not necessarily Ludacris, but Eddie is just the same character each time. And he's like, I don't believe in Santa Claus. We know, but how about some more cheer? I don't believe in Santa Claus. I know, but how about some more cheer? I don't believe in Santa Claus. I know, but how about some holiday cheer? It just keeps doing the same thing with different wrapping to mix that Christmas metaphor.
You're right. Man, and I did want to like this. Once I found out it was Tim Story, I was like, oh my God, Tim Story! But yeah, man, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I'm feeling zero of the stakes at this point. I don't really care what happens to Ludacris or Santa. I mean, Eddie, not Ludacris. I just want to turn this movie off, okay? Also, I can't believe I heard nothing about this movie when it came out. And it's a Disney movie. And also, with all that Disney money, this should be 1,000 times better. Who ruined it? Who did it?
Ask the Disney executives who greenlit all of those flops that happened in that year.
Disney, you are like a multi-million, trillion, million, gazillion, cajillion, quadrillion, gazillion heirs. Why are we not paying the best people in the world to do this, to make the best media? I mean, don't you want a Disney Renaissance? I don't understand.
Everybody out there, think about the absolute worst tech bro that you know out there. And remember that they think they're the smartest person in the world. Just because you have money doesn't mean that you know what to do with it.
Also, Disney, please still cast me and stuff. Disney, I do want to work for you. I do. I think this is tough love, Disney, because I am such a huge Disney fan. I'm actually going to Disney in January. I'm very excited about this. I cannot wait to go. Tough love. Invite more creative people into your sphere and really work on creating things that don't just please executives and please the market, but truly say something beautiful and inspiring, regardless of what it is, in any of the movies you do, live action, animated. That's all I'm saying. Just have an open mind. That's all.
I think that actually the creatives in this, Ludacris is great. Tim Story knows how to make a movie. The writer, obviously the producer, this is a star-studded, really creative cast. The pieces just didn't work together, much like the narrative. Like, there are lots of good things, and they just don't gel together.
Ah, I see.
Eddie and Charlotte have a moment outside. Charlotte wants Eddie to let Nick run. But Eddie says that the most important part of his job is making sure that nobody feels sad and alone. Does the audience hear that theme being smashed with a sledgehammer? Eddie almost lets slip that Santa doesn't exist, but a trail of glitter, Nick sweats the stuff, leads them to Santa.
Kris Kringle has found some help in the form of an operations van of a sort. It's the Truckles, Santa superfans. They even have a jingle. They are Santa seekers, like storm chasers, but without the threat of death. They track down Santa every holiday, or well, they tried to, though they hadn't succeeded until now. This is their lucky day. Night. Kinda. Only for a minute or so, because Nick jumps out of yet another moving vehicle and is in the wind with Eddie and Charlotte giving chase.
I wanted to dislike the Truckles, but the H-O played back 3 times, ho, 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 in the driving mishaps. Let me just say, I know many a Disney adult, and this is 100% their vibe.
I did. The truckles to me, okay, they are cutie patooties, but I was like, I think it's because at that moment I was being a Grinch.
You were being Eddie.
I was, when I was 13, I had my first look. Anyway, yeah, I was, they were super cute. I really loved the family dynamic that they created. They really left a mark because I do remember them, very, very vividly. So good job to the family, the truckles.
I like Eddie's position here in the film. He's trying to protect his daughter. I also like Nick a bit. He's an overgrown kid. I was hoping at this point for some reconciliation between the two of their positions. Spoiler alert, we only get one half of that reconciliation. This is also the part of the film which I call the running, in that Nick runs away, Charlotte and Eddie run after him, Nick does something zany before escaping, and then everybody runs away again. The film really, really likes this structure.
I love hearing writers' takes on these tropes because I just love how knowledgeable you are on these little things, and you're able to suss them out for the common folk like me to see and nod my head in agreement. At this point, I was wondering why the hell you picked this still. I was hoping for lighthearted fun, but all I'm feeling is heavy-hearted anger.
The trio wind up at a Christmas party to end all parties. There are 10 lords a-leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids.
I actually don't want to stop you. 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
You get the idea. These are Nick's staff and helpers. The famous toy room is just beyond, which Nick promises will convert even the most recalcitrant of coal-getters. Alas, it's empty. Nick's associates explain that the entire team is partying after having offloaded all the good games and toys for all the good girls and boys. Nick explains that there are too many children around the globe for his main HQ up in the Arctic to handle them all. Hence, his outposts with his army of supporters. Rather than call the police or an army of therapists, Eddie calls his estranged wife, Allison, who gives Eddie the rundown for keeping her daughter out too late.
Meanwhile, Nick explains to his associates what his rundown is. Earlier that night, he was delivering presents to Conrad Harf, who was supposed to be out of town, only to overhear Harf's plan to shut down the Moonlight mission where Luther and so many other hard luck cases get assistance. I'm shocked that Harf was getting anything but coal, but regardless, his goons discovered Nick and attacked him, forcing Nick to flee with his tablet, or so he thought. Actually, it was Harf's tablet, which is why his goons are chasing Nick.
Here we get to that scene that we were talking about before that could have been used to help establish the goons up front.
Right now, to me, fever dream. This feels like he farts glitter. No, he sweats glitter. Farts cinnamon. Fever dream. What's happening? I kind of actually do. I think it's kind of cute. But also just the things that are happening. Why? Wait, let's go back to that party. Why is he at this crazy weird steampunk? Oh, because it's coal.
Yeah.
I was like, why are the people dressed up like steampunk? Okay. I guess I take that back. But I was so confused. I was really being a hater at this moment.
Yeah, claustrophobic, fear of Santa Claus. Get it? I actually do kind of like that he shortens North Pole to the more modern real estate speak of Nopo.
Nopo. I'd live in Nopo.
I'm willing to believe in Santa Claus. I am not willing to believe that a woman like Allison would, while shopping on Christmas Eve, answer her phone when it's coming from an unknown number.
Yeah, if it's important, it goes voicemail. Eddie overhears Nick's tale and goes ballistic. This is just like when he was robbed as a kid. Eddie finally calls the cops just as Nick gets his equipment sorted. The authorities arrive and escort Nick away. Bad for Santa, worse for kids around the world. And the absolute worst for Harf's goons, who can't get their boss's tablet from the big man in the red suit. Nick is booked as Ron Campbell, a chimney thief and crook wanted for too many breaking and enterings to count. Nick is led away, but not before warning Carlotta, Eddie's colleague, that he won't be getting his train this year. The look of horror on Carlotta's face says it all.
Meanwhile, the two agents tasked with escorting Nick, they're actually working with Harf and want the tablet. Nick doesn't have it on him, however. Who does? Eddie. He's in an Uber with his daughter when he unlocks the tablet and realizes that Nick was telling the truth.
About Santa?
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus, and he's got 2 Christmas miracles this year. First, the tablet proves that Harf is up to no good. Secondly, Eddie received a letter from Nick's associates back at the Christmas Toy Factory. It's a copy of the letter that Eddie sent to Santa so many years ago, asking Santa to help him save his parents' marriage. It proves that Nick is the real deal. Eddie must help him, and thanks to an idea from Charlotte, he knows where to go.
And you wanted to call this a family podcast. You're crazy. Truckle Gang, give me an H.
I'm not doing this.
Come on, where's your Christmas spirit still?
We're recording this in October.
Tim Story loves his Uber scenes, huh?
Yeah, he really does love Uber scenes and exposition in Uber scenes. Mechanically, this film is working. As I read back the synopsis that I'd written, I was getting re-engaged, so I decided to watch the film again, and it just feels flat. There's just too much stuff and not enough momentum. How is that possible in a film that's this short?
This is the longest short movie I've ever seen, Steele. This movie cannot be over soon enough.
That's what makes it so crazy. Like, the elements are all here. As I was reading this, I'm like, oh, this is hitting all the notes. Maybe I was a little bit too harsh, and then I went back, and I'm like, no, it's technically there. I would compare this to Divorce in the Black, another film that we've covered, in that there are elements that are there, just for whatever reason, they're not gelling together, and the craftsmanship just doesn't work for it.
Is it because it's lacking heart? Is that what it is?
I think that this film has heart.
I think it's maybe because the movie feels like a movie and not like a...
That's fair.
It's not lived in.
Yeah, it's not a Christmas story. It's not any holiday classic, which feels like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like feels very like these are sets.
Yes.
So it's quick filming, maybe?
It feels cold and not in a good way. I feel like this is trying... There's a lot of holiday stuff here. We're going to be speaking about another holiday movie next episode, which I feel is better but has less holiday spirit to it. And right now, it's just kind of chugging along. It's not amping things up. Eddie, Charlotte, and the Santa Seekers are on the case, with Eddie even admitting that they're out to save Santa Claus. They track Nick to the mayor's mansion where a holiday soiree is in full tilt. Eddie sneaks in with a tablet to confront Harf, rescue Santa, and save the day. It almost works too, with Eddie spamming the goons' electronics with high-pitched carols before disappearing into the crowd. Harf recognizes Nick, however, and soon Santa and Eddie are caught. Except Eddie isn't just Eddie anymore. He's Santa's newest helper.
Is he? Nick tells Eddie that he really has to believe. Eddie finds Santa's reindeer collar, wills up all his might, and presses the button. Steele, do you know Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen?
Vaguely, but I do recall Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen.
Oh, right. In any case, all 8 show up and beat the tar out of Harf's goons. In my notes, I wrote, reindeer beat up. Reindeer, yeah, I think that's what I wrote. I had nothing else to say but that. Harf himself is hung up to dry, almost literally. And now, Nick is free to continue his trek across the globe. Eddie apologizes and thanks Nick, but Nick tells Eddie that it wasn't about Eddie believing in Santa. It was about Charlotte believing in Eddie. Nick tells Eddie that his letter showed his good intent, which is way better than any gift, and that if he shows the same intent now, he'll save his marriage and his relationship with his daughter. And with that, Nick hops in his sleigh and races into the sky.
I like this theme here in that Eddie has to believe in himself and show good intent. I just wish it had been explored more and been more complicated by the people around him. Instead, we got a load of silly Santa scenes. It's a family movie, so you have to have that kind of charm and schmaltz. But I think as good as the actor playing Charlotte is, the film doesn't give her enough of a journey with her father to justify them being there together and learning from each other, and her coming to understand why he doesn't like Christmas, and him coming to understand why she does.
Seeing that sleigh go off into the night made me so happy because I knew it meant the movie's almost over.
I could see that joke coming, and I still laughed.
We are in the home stretch, guys, so we have to wrap up all the outstanding plot points. Lightning round, everybody. Blizzard round. Yeah.
Blizzard round.
Blizzard round, everybody. Here we go.
Point 1, Eddie hands Harf's tablet to Carlotta. It's got everything to nail Harf to the wall.
Point 2, Eddie hands a present to Harf from Santa. It's an action figure that Harf requested as a child but couldn't get. An event that, like Eddie, changed his life forever. Maybe this one kind act will change Harf?
Point 3, the Truckles and Santa's toy makers are informed that Christmas is back on.
Point 4, Eddie takes Charlotte back home to her mother. Allison is about to rip into Eddie when who would show up but Nick, corroborating Eddie's seemingly outlandish story, as well as pushing Eddie to open up for real.
So Eddie does. He's always been afraid and pulled away because he was worried about going through the same breakup his parents went through. He now realizes how messed up that is, and he wants his wife and daughter to know that they are his Christmas the entire year. Aww.
Point 5, Nick gives Charlotte the puppy she has been waiting for since the beginning of the movie.
Point 6, Charlotte invites the Truckles, who had tracked Santa to Allison's house, in to meet said puppy.
Point 7, Nick continues on his journey, wishing a Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night.
Point 8, roll credits. 82 minutes of narrative time. This does not overstay its welcome, though it certainly felt longer than 82 minutes, if I'm being honest.
I didn't feel the Christmas cheer not once in this film. This movie was simply not made for me. That's okay. But I think whoever it was made for deserves better.
I actually really liked Oscar Nunez's moment of joy when he gets his action figure. He's such a good actor. I really did buy into his malevolence and then his boyish charm. I did like that.
Absolutely. Same here. Very quickly, why is it the man who never likes Christmas? And it always has to be convinced by his daughter, his child, or his wife, and whatnot. Let's have a mom struggle with believing in the spirit of Christmas and remembering the joys of Christmas with her child.
Trivia?
Yes.
Trivia.
Lil Rel Howery was not the original choice to play Nick. Kevin Hart was up for the part, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. I can see Hart playing this, but I think Howery brings a nice softness to the character.
All of the bits and bobs of Santa lore throughout the film, barring the animal doctors and whatnot, are real. Of particular note is when Nick calls his reindeer ladies. Reindeer males shed their antlers in the late fall, while females keep them all year long. Santa's reindeer always have antlers in their holiday depictions. Ergo, they're ladies.
The film took over 7 years to get to the silver screen, or rather the small screen. Originally announced in 2016, the story was about a jaded New York detective who must repair his strained relationship with his son while saving the real-life Santa Claus.
Producer Will Packer said that the concept was finally brought to him when Disney couldn't figure out how to execute the project, as he'd been in a similar position with Ride Along and Straight Outta Compton, films that he'd worked on in the past. He felt comfortable trying to push beyond some elements of the classic formula, updating Santa to the modern world being one of them, without losing the charms of a holiday classic.
Tim Story gave both Howery and Ludacris room to improv in this film. Lil Rel was well-versed in comedy, and Ludacris had a background in improvisational rap, so there was a broad trust between filmmakers and actors to work through things on the fly.
It was Harry's idea to make Nick more human and less mystical. Fingerless gloves, two-tone beard, more charm, more swag. This is definitely not a magical elf, but a gadget dad.
Production finally began in late summer 2022, when the current cast and headlighting talent was announced.
Howery told Screen Rant that he threw everything he could at actor Madison Sky Validum, both to keep her on her toes and to see if she would crack up, but that Madison, quote, kept up with me the whole time, and I couldn't throw her off, unquote.
Ludacris, Tim Story, and producer Will Packer all stressed how they wanted to create a new staple Christmas story, particularly one with black representation and a fun atmosphere that, quote, could be watched every holiday by anyone, unquote.
Pros.
The look of the film. I don't just mean the aesthetics, costume, and camera work, although those are pretty good, but this feels like a Christmas movie without it being in snowdrifts. I wouldn't say I was skeptical of an Atlanta Christmas movie, but I think it had to work a lot harder than, say, a film set in Chicago, and it pulled it off.
Oscar Nunez,
Yeah, Oscar
hilariously incredible, all the time, always elevates anything he's in.
Nunez. And his goons. I thought they were pretty funny.
Yeah, they were silly.
Madison Sky Validum as Charlotte wasn't given a ton of room to make a well-rounded character, but her sincere cheer and fun helped to sell a big chunk of that magic in this movie.
Sorry, it's not about her. I just have no more notes. I have no more pros. I really didn't enjoy myself.
I do like all the Santa facts, all the updates to Santa Claus, the naughty and nice list on an iPad is a nice touch, the Santa Seekers, the ancillary toy factories, and a fun take on Nick himself by Howery. From an airplane level view, the structure is solid enough that I began to second guess some of my negative notes, so much so that I went back and watched the film again. More on that in a second. And this is going to sound like a weird note, but I like the physical acting in this. The dancing, Howery's swag, Harf's freak out when he gets his action figure. There's one particular moment early on in the film when the Santa thief's hand comes in and twiddling his fingers takes a cookie that made me smile like a butcher's dog.
You know what? I will say Tim Story is a pro. I do love Tim Story and his work.
It's a very visually appealing film.
Yeah. Okay. So I take it back. That was my last pro. Thank you.
Cons.
The script.
Yeah, the overall structure is okay, but the specifics burn it to the ground. Each set piece is good, and they rarely elevate the story. The big moments are just there to turn a classic on its head and give us great visuals. Without characterization shifts, they don't reveal anything different about Eddie, Nick, or Charlotte.
The editing. I think that there were some things that could have been changed to make us feel like we were moving rather than actually just moving. Does that make sense?
No, I get 100% what you're saying. One of the big ones for me, I got to start with the preface. I have an immense amount of respect for Ludacris as a creator, and reading his passion for this project in interviews, it's clear he believed in it. His laid-back approach and Eddie's passivity made for a very weak pairing for a central figure that I grew annoyed with throughout the film. I'm not sure it's the actor's fault, as he's not really given much to work with in the form of Eddie. Non-believers coming to believe is literally as old as the legend of Santa Claus. But Eddie, as a character, doesn't evolve or change. All he does is question and grimace until the very end.
I would say the acting.
In general?
In general, specifically from Ludacris, unfortunately. I'm rooting for him all the time. Like, I love Ludacris. I feel like it was very one note, one tone, and I feel like maybe with more time, because that's often what happens. Is you look at a script and you're like, okay, I've got this. Okay, I'm like, this is the way I'm gonna go about it. This is the way I'm gonna do it. And then when you're out of the project and you maybe watch it, you're like, oh man, like I could have done this. We could always be better, right? And I was just not feeling it. I was just not loving Eddie, and I wanted so badly to love Eddie. I did love little Ludacris in the beginning though, when he's like a baby and he's
funny.
Going to Santa Claus. But yeah, that was all the love I had.
Eddie's wife, Allison, as a character, is similarly disappointing in the opposite way. She's furious in one scene, sultry in another, over it in another. I didn't understand why Eddie, as a character, wanted to get back with her, and I'd wished that the female representation in this film was better.
I hear you. I do love Tiana Paris' acting, though. The first thing I ever saw her in was WandaVision, and I was very happy to see her in this film.
Last one, there were a lot of gags that worked for me and a lot that fell flat. I think I would have given more of a pass to this film if I was laughing or engaging in nostalgia more. Comedies and horror films, for that matter, they can sell a weak premise and a weak script if the gags come fast and loose and you're laughing or you're horrified. That can cover over a lot of the cracks. There just wasn't enough. It's a very silly film, which is fine. That's what a family film is. It's probably going to be more appealing for a youthful set than my jaded self.
Absolutely. Agree.
Personal opinion.
Both of us came into this film sight unseen and hopefully as unbiased as possible.
No, not me. I actively wanted to be subjective. I wanted to love this movie. And it didn't hit the mark. I like all of the major players involved, from the stars to the filmmakers to the writer and the producer. I like the concept. I like modernizing Santa and getting us to think about his lore in a new way. And that I compare it to Men in Black, North Pole Edition, using tropes and fun ways to tell an engaging, almost buddy cop story. But the execution felt slack, with characters hopping from scene to scene without any real motivation. A big chunk of this is Eddie's character. He's established well, but he doesn't really shift until the very end. The rest is an occasionally funny holiday film that somehow feels hours longer than its 82-minute narrative.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Maybe I am just super bitter because at the point of writing this, I was running on fumes. I was very sleepy. I really dislike this movie, and I hope I never watch it again. I think, and this might be crazy to say, I was going to say, this might be my least favorite CT and CT entry.
Wow, really?
Maybe.
More than Prom Night.
Oh, no, girl, I loved Prom Night. I love Prom Night. That's one of my favorite ones. Maybe Divorce in the Black. Like, I'd probably watch Big Trouble in Little China before I watch this again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I wouldn't watch Divorce in the Black again. I feel like they're like right there as like ones I just really dislike. Oh my God, literally I wrote, I think this has been my least favorite CT and CT entry, and that's saying a lot because we watched Divorce in the Black and Big Trouble in Little China, two films I much prefer to this one. Okay, so I did want to watch Divorce in the Black. I feel, and I hate to say this, a lot of new films, Christmas or otherwise, especially from big studio heads, lack a whole lot of heart. All I'm saying is, for the amount of money they spent on getting the rights to all the songs they used, they could have gotten a better script. And I think everyone on their team knows it. Is that too harsh? I don't know. Is it really that hard to write an original feel-good Christmas movie? I mean, I've never tried, and I would never try. I'm not a writer.
I mean, apparently, because what's the last real holiday classic that you can remember? I can at least think of Home Alone and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Like, those two are staples of the holidays.
The Holiday.
The Holiday.
The Holiday. That's like the last one. I think that's the most recent.
Okay.
I love The Last Holiday. Did I put that? Yeah, I put that Holiday. The Last Holiday. Oh my gosh. Queen Latifah. I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I'm going to say it again. If I ever met Queen Latifah, I would literally explode. Queen Latifah, I love you. I love you so much. If I would literally, I would literally have to die on the spot if I ever met Queen Latifah. Anyway.
So it's been a while, and the pickings are few and far between.
It's been a while. It's true. So I guess it is hard. It is hard. It's much easier to pass judgment than it is to produce.
Yes.
Okay? I want everyone to know that.
And I like that everybody went into this with good intentions.
Yeah, but I also don't want to let people off the hook for making work that should be better. For all the means that you have, it should be better.
The verdict.
The critics in the crowd are divided, as per usual. Dashing Through the Snow has steadily gained admirers from audiences since its release in 2023, with 63% of audiences approving this new take on an old tale. Critics have remained steady and haughty. Only 30% find Ludacris's travelogue with Saint Nick to be an enjoyable sleigh ride. Steele, this was your pick. So who got it right? The critics or the crowd, both or neither?
I'm going to hand it to the critics on this, but just. I almost said neither, because this isn't a dreadful movie. I laughed a bit, and there are some narrative elements that I think could have been expanded upon in better fashion. It's just the central storyline really doesn't engage beyond the fun of the premise. Secondly, as I admitted, I went back and rewatched it, something I haven't done for any of the lower-rated films we've covered so far in this podcast. So I'll say that critically, it's not a great film, but if you're making cookies and looking for something inoffensive to throw on and take a peek at every once in a while, this is your kind of film.
I would say the critics are more right, but you know what? No, neither. This movie gets no stars from me.
Ooh.
Zero stars. Literally none. Take this movie back, undo making it. I'm beyond pissed that I had to watch it. I don't know, why am I so angry? I'm sorry to anyone involved. I apologize. Again, it's much easier to critique than it is to deliver, but with Disney budget, let's not make such a baseless, heartless, not well thought out film. Just for the sake of making something, polluting the world with films we do not need that say absolutely nothing.
Well, that wraps Dashing Through the Snow in bright-colored packaging, might I add. You may find it to be a delightful Christmas present this holiday season if you're in the mood for something lighthearted and silly, good for young children and old folks alike. Just don't expect any real meat on this turkey.
Go watch Four Christmases if you want to watch a movie that will make you laugh and fill you with the Christmas spirit. The Critics in the Crowd is hosted by Liz Ramirez and Steele Philippek. Editing and production handled by Steele. Social media by Wendy Dobkin. Logo by Aria Feliciano. Music by Joel Studler, provided by a Humble Bundle. All audio effects are sourced through freesound.org and used under the Creative Commons license. If you feel that we used a piece of audio to which you own the rights, please email helmstarmedia@gmail.com.
This episode was recorded at the Communipub branch of the Jersey City Public Library. Special thanks to Kyle Ramsey and all of the amazing librarians at this location throughout the United States and throughout the world.
To quote Walter Cronkite, whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap compared to that of an ignorant nation.